Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Man, that jump was crazy, man. So you better have my money. When these doors open, when we go to outside rate, you better have my money. You better have my money. I couldn't hear what dude was saying. And he was like, all right, yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see. So white dude, Josh was trying to calm him down. I'm like, man, so like, you know, I'm one of the dudes that known for susses. A lot of people don't even really talk to this man in there because this man look really intimidating, man. This man is a big diesel dude that hang with white dudes and soft black dudes that can't take care of themselves. Like, he looks like a freaking psycho ex-linebacker, to be honest with y'all, man. So he pacing back for the door. He like, walked up, I was like, I seen Josh was like, if it ain't one thing, it's another, Weezy, man. I was like, what happened, man? I'm trying, like, I don't know what happened. He like, shh. He was like, man, somebody playing with these numbers, Weezy, man. I gave him the numbers. I was like, what numbers? He was like, man, green dot, man. He was like, look, you get green dot numbers, your people's go to Walgreens, get the numbers. All they gotta do is scratch off your back, send you the numbers. I was like, scratch? He was like, yeah, they put how much money they want to put on it. They gotta load the joint up. And then they do it like, that was like, oh, kind of like buying a phone card, like for your phone. He was like, yeah, because I had a cell phone substitute for a little period of time. So he was like, yeah, something like that. But they put money on the load card, and then they scratch the joint off the back and give you the numbers. He trying to say the numbers ain't right. Josh don't play with no money. Josh don't play with no money, man. That man messing up my business, man. Josh was like, man, yeah, man, like, cause it's freaking $100, man. I don't get another 100 until next Friday. So like, what are we gonna do until then? This word Neil was like, man, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. He gonna pay me my money. He gonna pay me my money. Like, it was wild seeing a dude that angry on Lawrenceville. Like, this looks like Sussex 2 material, but this is a Sussex 2 kind of guy. This is a guy that's used to Sussex 2 rules living on Lawrenceville, man. So like, to see him that angry, it was wild because I'm seeing stuff happen on Lawrenceville, but nothing that looks too crazy of a violent situation. You know, the members is all around. But at the end of the day, man, like, I don't know how Neil gonna handle this situation, y'all. So boom. So he just standing at the door looking angry. So he dipped off. You know what I mean? He dipped off. He was like, man, jumping crazy, man. He just super looking angry. So I go stand over there with Ty was there. Ty was over there playing chess with the old head. I go stand over there and I sit down. He was like, man, I'm letting you know now, man, stay out of that jump with Neil, man. He was like, man, Neil is a psychopath. He was like, he's a psychopath, man. Like, he, you know, this is what he do. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like, he ain't kind of like really rap type when it comes to that, bro, because he take up for those dudes so much. Like, he was like, man, like, if he's willing to put his hands on other people for somebody else, though, he was like, bro, listen, like, his karma gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? And as he said it, I thought about it. I'm like, that is crazy, though. Like for real, you just basically like, but it's a business. He's doing what he's doing, but it's basically a business, man. Like, you know, y'all keep getting a la-la, let me sell it, make me feel like I got emotion going on, and I'll make sure nobody gonna bother y'all, man. That was his business, man. So like, bro was like, listen, make sure you stay away from that situation. He was like, because he liable to crash out any given time. So I'm like, man, you right, man, you right, man. You know what I mean? But I was like, nah, he trying to say, I said, bro, what's this green dot that people talking about, man? He said, dude, bucked on the numbers, and I was like, what's that about, bro? He was like, oh, yeah, green dot, bro, that's the new thing that just came out, bro. He was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Dudes be doing that kind of like, other than Western Union. He was like, because you know your people's got to go to Western Union and pick the money up. He was like, a lot of dudes, they got the chats. They got their own green dot card. I was like, how can they have their own green dot? He was like, bro, because there's 2 type of green dot cards. I said, oh, so one is a joint you use to kind of like, you know, like when people want to send you money, that's a green dot card. He was like, yeah. He said, that's a load card. He said, then they got another one that's like a Visa joint. He said, and that's like a credit card, basically. He's like, well, basically it's like an account card where you can set up your own account. You can do all of that from a cell phone. And basically what dudes give you numbers. You can check your own numbers and load your own numbers onto that card. So I was like, oh, so I was like, you gotta have the load numbers to put onto the Visa card. So like, I was like, so that money is sitting there? He was like, yeah, the money is sit. You can take it out, send it off, do whatever you want to do. He was like, I do what I know. Just do what I know over, you know what I mean, 42 part, I got one, you know what I mean? So he telling me about the junk, schooling me, you know what I mean? I'm just listening. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, he's saying that dude bumped on the numbers. He was like, yeah, that's because you got to be careful who you give your numbers to. He said, so the dude probably thinking that, you know, the white boy Josh got the numbers and gave it to him. So he was like, he probably like, that's too many people touching. He was like, when you get some numbers in future references, Weezy, make sure you get the numbers from your peoples. He said, as soon as you get it, put it in the envelope. I said, why envelope? He said, because the envelope shows that it hasn't been tampered with. So when you give it to the next person, it's on them. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, man, dude still be greasy though. But I'm like, this sounds like a greasy game, but I think I want to be a part of that, y'all. So boom. So after bro gave me a lesson on that, man, I just was like, man, I think Neil gonna end up crashing. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even gonna last long. I think Neil gonna end up crashing, bro. You know what I mean? So go outside rec. Finally, they call rec. We all out there on the yard. Of course, I went out there to be super duper nosy game. You already know that. I'm out there on the fence watching the whole thing. Now, the dude that owed the money, he messing around with the red team kind of crazy. Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't, I don't think he was part of the red team. I didn't get that indication. But he used to deal with the red team. You know what I mean? So, like, we all outside red team, dumb deep out there. You know what I mean? I look at Neil at the fence talking to one of the main red team members. He talking to my old roommate, and there's another dude that's in 42 part, and he's talking to that's in the red team. So he having a conversation with them, and you just see Neil kind of like, yo, man, like, I ain't going for it, man. He was like, look, we can go right now. Any one of y'all got a job, man. Y'all can call the numbers right now. They said the numbers been taken at 12:05. He was like, bro, they called us for child first. We went to child like 11:50, man. Yeah, he had the numbers, man. He ran back to the building with the numbers. He ain't even eat his whole tray. He had the numbers. I just want my $100 back. I don't care what's going on. So the dude like, man, the dude acting like he ain't trying to hear it. He acting like he ain't trying to hear it, but he is on the other side of the fence from us. Neil can't get his hands on him, you know what I mean? So Neil like, man, listen, man, you a coward. You a coward, man. That's all. But dude was like, man, listen, you can call me what you want to call me, man. You out here protecting lanes, man. I ain't got time for that, man. I ain't got time. I ain't got no time to be beating you, man. You protecting these lanes. You gonna take these lanes' word when you think they ain't gonna lie. They fiends. What you think they ain't gonna lie? Neil was like, no, they my friends. He said it just like that. He was like, no, they my friends. No, I'm gonna hold their word more than I hold your word. I don't know you. And the numbers were taken at 12:05. So you need to get my $100. He said, man, I'm telling y'all, man, tell him get my $100. Man, dude was like, what you think? I'm scared of you, man? What you think? I'm scared of you, man? So he said that. Everybody was just looking like, man, like, you know, dude want no little dude either. He want no big dude, but he want no little dude either, man. But like, you know, maybe he's barking up the wrong tree right here, man. Maybe he did it, maybe he didn't. I didn't know what to expect, man. But all I know is, man, he was standing up to Big Neil, y'all. So boom. Now, maybe that is the reason of him standing up. It's because he's on the other side of that fence. And Big Neil can't get his hands on him. So when they say that, he keep talking and keep talking. So dudes were like, man, look, man, y'all ain't gonna get to the bottom of it, man. I don't know nothing about this blue green dot junk y'all talking about. Dude was like, man, I ain't take nothing. Man. Man, Neil was like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. Man. He was like, man, look, dude was like, man, look, y'all can do this then. Like, he was like, I'll come over there with him, me and a couple of my homies, and y'all can shoot the one, man, because ain't nobody gonna get that $100, man. Nobody heard your word against his. Who lying, who telling the truth, don't nobody know. So y'all might as well just shoot the fair one and get it over with. So Neil was like, he backed up from the fence. He was like, yeah, that'll work. I'll get the money one way or the other. I'll get the money when we had his hands balled up and everything. I was looking at him like, man, this dude a real lunatic. He was like, yeah, I'll get my money one way or the other. Yeah, I'm gonna get it one way or the other. Dude was like, man, listen, man, I'll be over there. Yeah, I'll be over there. We think I'm scared of you, man, because you big, man. I ain't scared of you, man. I'll be over there too. Yeah, I'll be over there. Yeah, and he was like, all right, man, I'm ready. Come on. Yeah, that'll work. You walk away. He gonna stand by the fence when they let us out. I had to go back to the building. So I did a couple of laps. I walked past him. I didn't want to say nothing. I just let him cool off. So after the third lap, I see them taking 70 and 80 building off the part that was in the other side of the gate. They getting let off. So I wanted him to walk to the front of the gate. I seen him. I was like, man, Neil, man, you need to chill out, Neil, man. He was like, what, Weezy, man? He was like, man, he buckled on my money. I said, man, I know that feel like your money. I said, but it's really not your money though, Neil, man. And I'm talking like this, but he won't think that I'm trying to shine on him, trying to show off, anything like that. Like, to be honest with you, like, even though me and him didn't have conversations like that on Sussex 2, like, and I didn't really agree with his business that he was running. At the end of the day, man, he still was an all right guy after I started kicking it with him a little bit, you know what I mean? So he like, man, man, they trying to bump, man. I was like, bro, that's not really your bread though, bro. Like, man, come on, man, you gonna jump out there and crash out. I said, bro, listen, I told him some real stuff, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, man. I said, bro, listen. I said, man, you mess around and jump out there, handle your business, you get locked up. I said, you know what's gonna happen after that? He was like, what? I said, man, they're gonna find a new protector. I said, they're gonna find a new protector, bro. And I said, man, unfortunately, like, that's just how the game go, man. You know that, man. He was like, no, like, man, listen, man, like Josh, man, that's like my brother, man. Like, you know, me and him been rocking for like 8 months, man. Like, he cool, man. Like, I done talked to his mama, I done talked to his sisters, man. Like, you know, his mama always tell me, man, just please make sure my son get home safe. And I feel like that's my job, man. So, like, just let the dude play me like that, Weezy, man. I was like, bro, listen, just think about what you about to do, man. I said, I ain't telling you what to do, Big Neil. I said, but just think about what you about to do. He started looking up at the sky. He was like, I said, bro, you about to fight somebody and maybe hurt him real bad over somebody else's money that you don't even really know was good from the first place, bro. I said, we don't know if his mama spun him. We don't know. He said, man, his number's always good. They always good. I said, I understand that, bro. I said, but there's two sides to every story. There's two parts to every coin, bro. I said, you don't never know what's going on from either side. He was like, man, I feel you, Weezy. I get what you're saying. I understand you trying to calm me down, but I'm letting you know right now, I'm going to whoop dude. I'm going to whoop him, man. You know why? Because he out there showing off like he ain't do that, Weezy, man. He out there showing off like he ain't do it, man. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to whoop him, man. I'm going to whoop him, man. Because one thing about him, he ain't going to mess up my business. Yeah, he ain't going to mess up my business. As he said that, the black dude walked up with something in his ear. He was like, yeah, man, all right, man, all right, man, all right, man. He was like, but look, though, I'm letting you know now, man. He was like, man, for real. He was like, Weezy, man, I need to holler at you, though. I was like, holler at me for what? He was like, nah, in the room. I was like, in the room? He was like, yeah, in front of the guys. I'm like, in front of the guys? He's like, yeah, man, it's important, man. I'm like, shh. I was like, all right, man. So I followed him to his room. You know what I mean? When I went in his room, it was Josh, the other white dude, and the other black dude in there. You know what I mean? They was already in the cell. You know what I mean? So I looked. He was like, no, come on. I walked in. He started putting his sneakers on. You know what I mean? He started putting his sneakers on, getting those right. You know what I mean? So as he was sitting there, he was like, hey, look, man. Hey, look. If anything happened to me, I already know that $50 every 2 weeks that you be paying, you know what I mean? You be paying. Hey, look, I need y'all to send that to Weezy, man. Hey, Weezy, when you get that jump, man, just hold it till I get out the hole, man. If anything happened, man. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, just hold it if anything happened when I get out, till I get out the hole. I'm like, man, you're not going to the hole, man. Calm down. I said, furthermore, bro, like, I don't want to, Josh was like, man, I don't mind doing that, man. You know, I want to make sure you're good, man. He was making sure I was straight, nobody robbed me. He was making sure everything was good. So I was sending Weezy the $50, man. The black dude was like, yeah, I'll do it too. The other white dude was like, hey, it's cool with me, man. I'm just looking around, I'm like, these dudes ain't got no problem paying, y'all, so boom. I was just like, man, I was shocked in them. I was standing there, y'all was just like, I just start scanning everybody. Everybody's cool. I was like, hey, man, for real, Neil, man, like, I ain't really trying to get in the middle of this. Y'all already know my homeboy just told me, man, do not get in the middle of this. Don't do it, Weezy. Don't do it. And I'm looking at it like, I just got to the camp. Like, what do I want to do get in the middle of this, man? But, like, as I started thinking about it, I'm like, he ain't asking for much. You know what I mean? Like, they're agreeing to just let me give them my people's information. And they're going to send me the money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. So I said, hold on. I said, look, though, Neil, I don't have a green dot, though. I don't have that stuff y'all talk about. He was like, no, look. That's what they going to do, though. He said, man, look, Josh going to get the money from their peoples, and they going to put it on one joint. And they'll just Western Union it to you. But when you get it, you know what I mean? Just hold $150 for me, though. You know what I mean? Just hold it for me, man. Yeah, man, I'm going to make sure everything's straight, though, man. When we get out, look out for you, man. Just hold it for me. I'm just looking like, shh. I didn't really want to, man, but you know what? Why not, y'all? So boom! I was like, cool, man. I was like, yo, y'all just holler at me, though, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to make sure bro's straight. I was like, for real, Neil, man, I don't think you should fight dude, though, man. Like, I don't think it's that serious. I was like, I don't think you should fight dude, man, because it's just not a good idea, bro. Like, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do. He was like, nah, Weezy, I'm going to put these on him, Weezy. Nah, he think it's a game. Man, that man knucklehead look like this. That's how big his fist was. Big Neil's fist was like this. That joint looked like 2 knuckles. That joint was like this. He was like, I'm gonna put these paws on him, Weezy. Man, that joint looked like a boxing glove, y'all. So boom. Maybe a catcher's mitt, man. That man's hand was huge. Paws, man. But he said he about to put dude out his lights. Put dude lights out, man. So I went on and left out the cell. I was done. As soon as I walked out the cell, I looked, my homeboy Ty standing on the top tail like, I walked. I was about to go to my cell. He said, hey, what you say? I was like, shh. Steps, and I was like, man, Lord, man. Got up the steps, walked down there and said, I'm like, what's up, man? He was like, man, look what I tell you, man. Stay away from dude like that, man, when he got drama going on, man. He's like, I was on success with him too. He was like, but I ain't hanging around him when he got drama going on, bro. He was like, man, that man in protection mode, man. That man got a business protecting people, bro. He gonna stay in the stuff. I'm like, bro, you right. I said, man, because he ready to beat dude up, all this. He's like, oh, you gonna fight dude? He's like, man, I'm telling you, he stretched the dude by the microwave, bro. He knocked the dude out by the microwave, man. I'm like, man, I tried to talk him out of it. I said, that's why I was over there. I tried to tell, he's like, man, let him do what he gonna do. He said, I'm gonna have people thinking that you got his back and you around him, because if somebody do something to you, then I'm gonna have to do something to somebody, bro. You gonna involve me in this situation, and I'm chilling right now, Weezy. I was like, you right, bro. I was like, you right, bro, man. I was like, but look, though, this is the only thing. He was like, what, man? What now? I was like, man, look. I said, calm down, but look, though. He's like, what, man? I said, man, say word. He called me in his room. I said, this is why I went in there. He called me in his room and said in front of those 3 dudes that he be with, the white dude, Josh, the white dude, and the black dude. I said, he told them to make sure they send me the $50 every 2 weeks that they've been paying him. So he was like, they send him $50 every 2 weeks? I was like, I guess, bro. I was like, then they said it was cool with that, bro. Because I said, he think he might go to the hole for this fight. You know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, that was, I was like, bro, I didn't want to turn him down. But I'm like, still though, like, man, that's crazy that they paying $50 every 2 weeks though. He was like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, like, that's what he do. Like, he really rock with them as friends, man. And like, man, you know, the whole time they kicking, man. He's like, it's basically friendly extortion. I was like, I don't really think he extorting them. I said, because Josh and them look happy that they pay. They don't look mad that they pay. They look happy, man. They able to give somebody that look like a freaking gorilla they freaking numbers and let them score and nothing's gonna happen. I was like, man, I don't think they mad about that whole situation. I think they happy about paying somebody else, y'all. So boom. I said, but it's one thing though. I said, I'm not gonna be the next protector. And I hope they know that though, if anything happened to bro. You know what I mean? He was like, no, you about to take his job. You about to take his job. I said, why this guy up here, bro? I said, I'm trying to protect myself. You think I'm trying to protect somebody else, bro? I said, I ain't got time for them, man. I ain't got time for that, man. He was like, man, this be easy, bro. I'm like, all right, got you. So I went back to the cell. I chilled for the rest of the day. I went to holler at bro. Ty a little bit later. We hit the fees and chill. Baby son eat. We locked down for the rest of the day. So I was thinking the fight was going to happen that day. But I guess everybody was feeling like, you know what I mean? We're going to wait till the next morning shift come back on, because the morning shift was the sweetest shift over there in 40 building. So morning shift was the easiest shift over there in 40 building. They didn't really care about nothing, man. So when we went to breakfast, everybody that came back from breakfast, I didn't go to breakfast, but when people came back, they was like, yo, dude and them gonna fight. He was like, yo, your man Neil and them gonna fight, bro, as soon as they let Rec out and go outside. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that jump crazy, man. So everybody out the pod. It's one of the early jumps. Everybody out the pod, you know what I mean? Everybody being nosy because everybody know Big Neil is about to fight, you know what I mean? I look up, you see Josh and them, they not gonna hold him down. They just hoping that he don't go to jail. That's the only thing they hoping on. That's how they gonna hold him down, praying that this man don't go to the hole. So everybody up. So the lady said, stand by for outside rec, stand by for outside rec. So she put us on standby. So everybody waiting to go outside. Next thing you know, the door opened up. She's like, exit out, exit out. But when I look, all the slider doors are open up. From the whole building, everybody just leaving out. The hallway look crazy. So as dudes leaving out, you can see a couple of dudes coming in. Like, a couple of dudes came right there and stood under the booth. The booth is right here. So dudes will try to come in and get under the booth, and people can't see them at first. They'll just get under, right under there, kind of by that brick wall where I be telling you where the police come at. It's an intercom, it's the slider door, then it's the brick wall. But dudes will get right there by the door, for the lady can't really see them. Even if she come and look, she's not gonna see nobody under her right there, you know what I mean? So they came and stood right there. They standing in the joint. This word, dude come in the joint. Everybody just chilled. I looked and I seen the dude that Neil was arguing with, and I looked. He was strapped up. He had on a cut-off T-shirt. You know what I mean? He looked like he was ready to fight. He had on some old scrubs, some old Nikes. He came in the pod, man. He came in the pod, man. So I see the red team dude that was there, that was mediating the joint. He walked in. He hollered at a few of his red team members. You know what I mean? I guess they asked him like, "Yo, you straight, homie? What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm over here for my homeboy." You know what I mean? So they ended up like, "Yo, dude, went to go holler at Neil." Neil was already in the cell ready. I looked at Josh, and Josh was already standing by the door. My word, dude just started walking back there. And dude started walking back towards Neil's cell, man. They went in the joint. They was like, "Yo, red team dude." They went walking back by towards Neil's cell, man. He's standing by the door. Dude talking to him. The red team member talking to him. I seen the red team member get out the way on some, like he was at a freaking karate, like he was at the Kumite on Bloodsport. He was like, He might as well did that. Go. He was standing in front of the dude. He was like, dude was just like, dude just went up in the cell. Dude went up in the cell. You hear, bitch ass nigga. Boom. Next thing you know, Joe was like, man, get this nigga out of my motherfucking cell. Get this nigga out of my motherfucking cell. That's all you heard was Neil say. Man, get this nigga out of my motherfucking cell. Right now. Next. He kept saying that. Next. Nigga. Get this nigga out of my motherfucking cell.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.